It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Ravens and the Titans, and it comes your way next.
By many accounts, one of the most underrated home venues in all of the NFL resides in the heart of Nashville, Tennessee, and that's where we find ourselves at Nissan Stadium. This crowd here fired up for football as a moment ago their Titans were introduced. This should be a good one as the Titans get set to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. Brandon Garden alongside, as always, my partner Charles Davis. And CD, in the few moments here before kickoff, let's give these folks at home a look at these two offenses by the numbers. What stands out to you?
Brandon, I just continue to be amazed by the analytics of the game, and it's an area where I continue to concentrate and study because I'm still trying to figure out how coaches and coordinators can really crunch the numbers and find where exactly on the field a defense is vulnerable. It's the game within the game. And if you really dive into it, it can be endlessly fascinating.
Tucker McCann now set to do the honors here, and we are underway from Nashville. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. Time to see this wide-open Baltimore offense go to work, and leading them, pretty darn good one, Lamar Jackson out of Louisville.
The best numbers that Lamar Jackson possesses is that his team wins the vast majority of games that he starts at quarterback. But in addition, 2,900 yards rushing in his career. They know how to build around him and play to his strengths.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up 2nd down. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. This is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit.
And his first carry loses the football. It's picked up by the Titans. And they're going to bring this one back. A fumble return touchdown for the Titans. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower postgame. Here's Tucker McCann now for the PAT. And this is good. Our score, 7-0 Tennessee. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The drive will start with an option going left. And right away, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Titans. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Now come the Titans for their first possession, led by Ryan Tannehill in his 10th NFL season and third with Tennessee.
And the former Miami Dolphin had a career renaissance in 2019 with Tennessee and carried it over into 2020. A career-high 32 touchdowns, just 7 interceptions, and those were the fewest he's thrown in a full season. And speaking of full seasons, he played all 16 games for the first time since 2015. He's got to be excited about 2021.
Now here's a pass on first down. It's knocked away and incomplete. He was trying to get it to A.J. Brown that time. And it's second down.
But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up fourth down.
That was well coached and even better executed because you saw him looking for the cutback lane, never materialized, and it had excellent pursuit to stack that play up.
McCann's kick is good. And that will make it 10-0 here in the first. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board, ended up settling for 3.
McCann's got it teed up. This taken in at the goal line. And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they're going to bring this one back. A fumble return touchdown for the Titans. Well, that's got to be so disappointing for a defense. You force the fumble, think you got a chance at a turnover, and instead, not only do you give up the football, you also give up a touchdown as well.
Yeah, you just think to yourself, you've done all the hard work, right? You forced the fumble, but when they didn't come up with it, I think they relaxed a little bit or maybe lost their focus as well, and it ended up turning out to be a touchdown against them.
McCann now for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature in the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to small up the ball carrier.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Got an extra defensive back out there for the Titans now here for 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. That makes them now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Titans coming back onto the field for their 2nd drive. They've been off to the races already. A 17-0 lead. Now a chance for more here as they've got it 1st and 10. Now a play fake, and it's Tannehill. Looking downfield for Jones. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive, INT.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. Able to fight through one tackle. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well. But no surprise coming off a 2,000-yard season. It was Derrick Henry who totaled the most yards after contact in the NFL last year, and he's up to his old tricks here.
Yeah, and this could be a sign of what this defense is in for because, you know, all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense, you've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact. Ready for the 2nd quarter from Tennessee, and it's the homestanding Titans in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Derrick Henry runs through the contact. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
And Derrick Henry with the ball in his hands, what a sight to behold because power and speed involved in every touch for him. Coming off another spectacular season with the Titans, he became the first since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006 and 2007 to win 2 straight rushing titles, and he did it with style too. Just the 8th man to top 2,000 yards and the 1st since Adrian Peterson in 2012. He has his sights set on another 2,000-yard season.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Tannehill. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters.
Another nice decision there by Marcus Peters to go for the football, and he comes down with it yet again. Since coming into the league in 2015, No one has more interceptions than Marcus Peters. He's averaged better than 5 per year.
Baltimore about ready to go on offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
That catch good for only a couple.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
They go play action now. Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there. And it's 3rd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. To throw is Jackson. Wide open is Watkins. He's got him. And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give them 17 on that pickup.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Janoris Jenkins. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing.
And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. And the Ravens have got it. Defense, they were swarming that time and ultimately got to him before he could get rid of the football and knocked it free.
And don't you feel just a little bit of sympathy for him back there, though? So much going on, so much swirling around. He's trying to find someone downfield. He's trying to move around to find an open target. Sometimes you forget the number one thing, take care of the football.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
And a good catch there by Mark Andrews, and many think that paired with Lamar Jackson, they may be the best quarterback-tight end combo this side of Mahomes and Kelsey.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Bud Dupree was a first-round draft pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers and really blossoming his last few years there, teaming with T.J. Watt to create quite the duo. Dupree had 8 sacks in 2020 before hurting his knee in Week 12. 11.5 in 2019, and signed with Tennessee for 5 years and better than $82 million.
The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Jackson. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And this is caught inside the 5. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal for an offense that has not found the end zone yet. That's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. 2nd down and goal. Jackson, open man, Watkins, touchdown, Baltimore. Sammy Watkins, as the first half is winding down, and the Ravens are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. And he's going to lose yardage, not that it matters, as the final seconds tick away.
Get him, boys! Get him, boys!
So we've reached halftime here in Nashville, the Music City, with the Titans out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. It was a terrific first half for the veteran quarterback. First, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Ravens. And not much went right in those first 2 quarters. You can see the numbers on the ground there. Not a whole lot to write home about so far. And meanwhile, for the Titans, they too didn't do a whole lot in terms of rushing efficiency in that first half, as you can tell by the numbers there. Final adjustments being made in both locker rooms. We're just about ready for the second half. And for the call, let's get you back up to Nashville, Music City, in Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Titans hold the lead, and they'll get the football first as the third quarter gets underway. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And no return here for Evans as they will bring this out to the 25. The Titans getting set to go here to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
And a good physical run that time. He's going to wind up gaining 5 on that one. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll run it again with Henry. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Here we go.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Tannehill with a throw caught by Brown. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Tannehill going to turn and give this to Henry. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. 52 yards on the ground for him so far.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a first down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
From the red zone now, Tannehill. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Josh Reynolds that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Running from the gun with Henry. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
McCann's kick up and good. And that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And they're going to stop it right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Second 10 coming up here in Nashville. Third quarter action. Dobbins running out of the gun. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
That's taken in by Duvernay.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Here's Sam Cook now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Nashville, it's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the fourth. Here we go. It's Jackson on fourth down. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. Jackson on first down. And he'll go right back to Andrews. And Andrews lost the football. It's picked up by the Titans. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
And showcasing those strong legs on that run, getting through 1 tackle. Now she winds up getting 8 there. Second down, they go again with Henry. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have.
And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Derrick Henry, 26 yards. And the Titans have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. Well, that is a running back who was not about to go down easily. He fought his way through the contact until the seas opened up for him.
And as a former defender, I can tell you with certainty, those are the ones that have you losing sleep at night. I would not like to be in that film room on Tuesday going over that one. Just a pretty poor effort defensively, and it leads to a big play.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. So now Tannehill leading his crew to the line to go for 2. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2. McCann's got it teed up. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Ravens ready to take over. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. connecting with Andrews. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Here's Jackson to throw. Slings it to Andrews, and it's complete. The tight end has it. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Jackson to Andrews on that one. First down, Baltimore. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. And Jackson throwing once more. Connects with Duvernay. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. From midfield now, here's Jackson going deep here for Watkins. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by the rookie from Virginia Tech, Caleb Farley. Wow, so wipe out the INT roughing the passer. What a disaster.
An absolute disaster, and you hope their lockers are not right next to each other for the postgame. Safe to say one is not buying the other dinner.
This pass complete. Jackson finding Andrews. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And this is going to be caught? No, they say it's incomplete. Sammy Watkins, the intended target, but it's going to be second down. Now it's Jackson. Open man is Duvernay. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Now Jackson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they've been on the same.
And in for the Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown from 10 yards out. And the Ravens have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Tucker now to add the point after. And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the Titans are going to come up with it. And that should just about do it. Past midfield, look out. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And still 2 timeouts defensively, but even if they choose to use those, 3 kneel downs should be enough to get out of here with a victory.
And that's exactly what's being stated into the head coach's headset. Oftentimes they have a guy upstairs who monitors this at the end of the game. A little clock management 101.
2nd and 11. A shotgun handoff to Henry. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. They'll try the option right here on 3rd down. And he is going to lose yardage here. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Here's Brett Kern now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.